You just got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, but your dad got you a race with Ryan. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. That's a travesty. But I'm here to help! And you're like, who the heck are you? I'm just some homeless man! But these are my top 5 essential Nintendo Switch games that you gotta play if you got the console. And this is obviously my personal list. It's not gonna reflect everyone else's. And it's not even my definitive list, more than likely, because we're only 3 years into the Nintendo Switch. We got a few more years left. I'm sure we'll get something that will outrank something on the list. But as it stands in January 2021, these are my top 5 favorite games. Let's get into it so you can start disagreeing with me in the comments.
Number 5.
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I can already hear the screams and the cries of the poor children in the comments going, oh my god, Sean, Breath of the Wild is the best Switch game of all time. Why is it number 5? This is my list. I just told you it was my list. Jesus, if you want to make your own list, go get your mom's camcorder out of the closet and get to work. I love this game. The music is incredible. The world is incredible. The characters, the stories, everything is just so awesome. It is not your stereotypical Zelda game. They completely threw the Zelda formula out the window and said, you know what? We're doing something completely different with this one. And I appreciate that. I like classic Zelda. I like the dungeons. I like to collect all the things and go you fight Ganon at the end and blah, 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 blah. This, you still do collect all the things and fight Ganon at the end, but you get to just go and do whatever you want in the world in the meantime. Other Zeldas are pretty linear. You have to do things in a very specific order to get to the end of the game. Breath of the Wild, you don't. You can literally just go all over the place, meeting all kinds of interesting characters, doing little side stories and all kinds of fun things. And eventually you can make your way to Ganon. You could spend hundreds and hundreds of hours in this game and not even beat it, and not even get to Ganon, and still be having a fucking blast. I know people who have literally spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours in this game and don't get tired of it. My brother is one of them. He seriously loves this game to death. I love this game. I only spent about 120 or 130 hours, but for a Zelda game, that is a lot of time, right? Like, usually a Zelda game is a couple dozen hours tops, and then you move on to another game. But this game, you really can get lost in the world. The only thing I don't like is the mechanics of the weapons breaking and stuff, but I've heard great arguments for why they break, so it's just kind of like a personal preference thing. If you don't mind that they break, then there you go. I don't mind it that much. There's also like physics and new mechanics they've added into the Zelda world where you can use certain objects and move things around in certain ways, and like lightning strikes metal and all kinds of interesting stuff like that. There's all kinds of different ways to solve puzzles. There's not just one set way to do anything. You can literally find out different ways to do like everything in the game. People are still finding out to this day different ways to do things in Breath of the Wild, and I can't wait for the sequel. And boy, oh boy, if you have a Nintendo Switch, you better play this game, or else I'll find you.
Number 4.
Luigis Mansion 3, and god damn it, do I love this game. It is so cute and charming. Literally, Luigi says the cutest things walking around the mansion. Oh no, Mario is scary and obviously he doesn't say those things, but he does say a lot of cute things. Obviously he's scared of everything, like he always is. He's a little skittish man, and he somehow is the ghost hunter of the group. Haha, ironic and funny, but it is cute, it is charming. Egad's back. The whole gang's back, actually. Peach is in this one as well. They all get kidnapped. Mario, Peach, the Toads, everyone gets kidnapped. King Boo's back up to his sneaking, conniving ways. He's really mad at Luigi for what he's done in the past, always thwarting his plans, I suppose. The Boos are back, which they're a lot harder to catch this time. You're in a hotel. It has a bunch of levels. You go through the game. Each level of the hotel has its own unique aesthetic and characteristics, and all the ghosts on that floor kind of adhere to that characteristic for the most part. Like I said, it's charming beyond belief. The gameplay is super fun. There's lots of new mechanics from the 3DS game as well. Gooigi's here. Gooigi is just a blast to use. I wish they made an amiibo for Gooigi, because I would have bought that day one. That is a missed opportunity. A little translucent green Luigi amiibo. Fantastic. Why did you do that? They don't care about amiibos anymore. That's another topic for another day. But goddamn it, this game is so... it just oozes cuteness and fun and charm. It's a fun romp. Just go romp it up.
Number 3.
Astral Chain. I absolutely adore this game beyond belief. All right, I actually debated. The top 3 are like really, I was like, ooh, I don't know which one I like better. But it ultimately put Astral Chain at the 3rd spot. and I'll explain why when I get to the other two later. But Astral Chain is an amazing game. It's like a cyberpunk dystopian future. You're part of Neuron. It's a special task force on the Ark, which is like a new place where humans live because the Earth got overtaken by cybernetic altered dimension demons or something. It's really out there and futuristic and crazy, but you're a police officer. You control one of these demons called a Legion. You actually control a few of them. You catch them throughout the game and control them. You have different weapons. You have a little baton and a gun and like a big sword thingy. And the combos are just so fun and easy to perform. They're not like super complicated, like, oh my god, I gotta press a million buttons and turn that. When games have super complicated combos, I don't like that. I'm almost like, well, I press right and then the up and the B, and it's just, it's not working. I don't know. This game, it just flows. The combat flows. The animations of the combat are so fun to look at. The aesthetic of the game is so cool. It's got that really anime, manga, weeby style. The guy who did it is a renowned manga artist. Hideki Kamiya produced this thing. It's a platinum game. It just oozes style throughout, and the gameplay is addicting and fun. It's an action RPG-esque kind of thing. It has like RPG elements, but it's kind of like a hack and slash game where you're just going through these cybernetic demon monster thingies, like I said, all kinds of different ones of those. You're one of two twins, a girl or a boy. You get to pick. I picked the girl because I like to look at a waifu when I'm gaming, checking her butt out while she's running around. What do you, I mean, come on, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why I picked it. But yeah, it's really awesome. Through and through, cool story. Mainly the gameplay is the driving factor for me. It is so fun to perform these combos and do everything and throw your Legion around and you're just doing stuff and you're just like, it's really easy to do, but it feels like you're doing a lot. And you're just like, whoa, it's like super rewarding for very little effort, I feel like. Platinum just nailed it, knocked it out of the park with this one, baby. Go check it out. That's my little baseball bat.
Number 2.
Mario Odyssey. You know that this was not gonna not be on the list. Come on, get it together, Timmy. What do you think? What do you think? I'm a rookie? What do you think? I'm an amateur? If you have a Nintendo Switch, Mario Odyssey is literally essential. You shouldn't be able to buy a Nintendo Switch without having Mario Odyssey on the system already. Like, it has to be required playing. You know, they have a required reading in school. This is required playing for any Nintendo Switch owner. It's classic as can get Mario 3D platforming, literally down to the fact that they bring back the 8-bit platforming in almost every world of the game. They have a little 8-bit section, all kinds of, sometimes multiple, many different 8-bit sections where you go upside down. They throw in new mechanics into the 8-bit sections. Very cool. This game controls amazing. My main gripes with like Galaxy and Sunshine and stuff like that is they don't control as pinpoint accurate as Mario 64 does. But Mario Odyssey, I think, may even be the best controlling Mario game of all time. Mario does exactly what you want to do. If you know how to control Mario, he's doing exactly what you tell him to do when you tell him to do it. Watching people do outrageous, ridiculous, crazy jumps in Mario Odyssey where they throw their hat and flip and do all this blah, 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 blah. It's just like, wow, this game is made with so much love and care, so much attention to detail. The graphics are outrageous. People talk about like amazing graphics on the Switch, but I don't hear many people talk about Mario Odyssey. I feel like the graphic, like looking at bullet bills flying through the air, I'm like, this is, if I would have seen this as a kid, I would have shit my pants and cried. That's how goddamn amazing this is. And they bring back a lot of like classic characters. Pauline's back. It's just like there's so much thought put into this game in every regard. Every single aspect is so, and the music, oh god, don't even get me started. This is some of my favorite Mario music of all time. It's magical, it's whimsical, it controls amazing. The only gripe I have with the game is how many moons are. There's over 800 moons. I did not 100% the game because a lot of the moons are just, you keep buying the moons at shops, and I'm like, oh, that's so dumb. It's just like, oh, I gotta go collect coins and buy moons. That sucks. I didn't like that. I like to have like a set, like 100, give me 120 moons, 200 moons, whatever, 300 moons. Don't give me 800, something like, oh, but there's so many moons to collect. Can you believe it? But most people don't really care about that. It's kind of a little thing with me. The worlds feel so real in this game, so lived in. The characters, like, when you play like Galaxy or something, I feel like it just feels like they got, oh, we'll just throw some models in there and some character assets and look, it's a world where things live. Some areas feel better than others, but in Mario Odyssey, every single world feels unique and lived in, and just like it feels like it's an organic place, right? It just feels so cool and interesting to like exploring everything. You're just like, oh, look at this over here. This is neat. Oh, that's really cool. Look at that. And I never had that in a Mario game myself, to that extent, at least. So yeah, Mario Odyssey, I mean, seriously, you better buy it right now.
Number 1.
You're gonna hate me for this. You're all going to hate me for this. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is my number one Switch game of all time. And Woods from Beat 'em Ups had a little running meme on his YouTube a while back where he's like, well, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 sucks. This is the worst game ever. And everyone was like, oh, you rascal. He didn't really give the game a full chance. At the beginning of the game, the combat doesn't really work that well. And that was his main gripe. He could just set the controller down, leave, come back, and he won the battle. Whoop-de-doo. There was no effort, zero effort. But later on, when the enemies get higher levels and stuff, you actually do have to put effort in. You're not going to make it past the halfway point of the game by just putting your controller down. You have to do the combos and the chain attacks and all that other stuff, which I fucking love. I love the combat system in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 when it really kicks in. The game in all regards kicks in about the halfway point, which is kind of, it's like, whoa, what do you mean like the halfway point? I'm talking about like 50 or 60 hours in. It really you're like, oh, okay, whoa, you really get a hold and hang of everything, and things start flowing, and the enemies actually pose a threat and all that, and you're like, that's a lot of time to invest. Trust me, it's worth it. It's an amazing game. I love the blade collecting aspect so much. It's like Pokemon for adults, right? You find core crystals throughout the game, rare ones, common ones, whatever, and you can get blades, which are these creatures that you use, and you can even you gotta level them up by doing certain things in the world or battle experience, all different types of ways to level up their abilities and everything. They even have field abilities, which are kind of like HMs from Pokemon, where you can need to get through certain areas of the game or open certain chests and stuff like that with a certain level of a field ability, but it doesn't take an attack slot. It's like its own separate thing. A lot of mechanics to do with the blades, but the best part about it is collecting the blades. When you find a really cool rare blade, when it opens up and you're like, oh, I got a fucking sick-ass rare blade, not a shitty common one, you want to check it out. You want to see, whoa, how do I get this thing to max out? How do I max out this thing? What do I got to do? Certain ones take a really long time to max out. Other ones are pretty easy to max out. I just love the aspect of collecting things in games, especially monsters that I can use to battle. Just about that, ever since I was a kid loving Pokemon, it's just something that I loved. And Xenoblade Chronicles 2 does it so well, and it's just so fun collecting the blades and getting. And they're waifus. There's tons of waifus to collect. Did I mention that? A lot of the blades are fucking hot, and you're just like, holy shit. And you're like, dude, Shane, you are a fucking incel weeb. Trust me, brother, I ain't. I just like to look at waifus when I'm gaming. Is that a sin? All right? Is that okay? Anyways, the story is pretty cool too. You got Torna, they're after you. It's kind of like a Team Rocket-esque thing. They want to take Pyra from you, which is your blade that you accidentally kind of discover when you're salvaging stuff. It's a whole thing. The story's cool. The ending is amazing. It actually had me choked up. I was like, oh, no. No, and games rarely do that to me. And then I was like, tugging at my heartstrings here, Xenoblade. Wow. I loved it. It was such a good payoff for all the time I spent in the world, and it's just fun to explore again. But yeah, my favorite aspect of Xenoblade is collecting the blades, battling with them, and the combat later on when you chain the attacks together. It feels so cool, and the animations and everything moving around on screen. You're just like, oh my god, I am God! That is my number one game on the Switch. That is my favorite game I've ever played on the Nintendo Switch, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I know you disagree. So let me know in the comments how much you disagree. Say, how could you leave off Fortnite, Sean? That's the best game ever on the Switch. Great, Timmy. All right, how are you still watching right now? But if you did make it this far in the video, drop a like. Like I said, leave a comment down below telling me what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already. Links to all kinds of fun stuff in the description to help support the channel. Also, have a pinned comment down below with all the channels that I work on. We're also on BitChute and Rumble. Go check us out over there. And I'll see you later.
So I want to say thank you to your loyalty. Thank you for your support.
La 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 la.